What up, dogs? Let's talk about sacrifices. I had this, what's the word, epiphany. How do you pronounce that? And the light bulb turns. The more you need to sacrifice, the more unnatural your life is. Think about these tribes, folks. In the woods, they had their little huts. They got all the animals they can hunt. They got their boys. They got their beaches. They got their family. What are they sacrificing? What are they sacrificing? Remember, they don't know any of this shit. And even if they did, would they be better with this shit or worse? Be honest. Now, we that live in the Matrix from the beginning, we really need to sacrifice a lot. When you wanna start to eating healthy, but you're used to the Matrix food, you're used to the insane mouth pleasure, the oohs and ahs on your tongue, those yummy bombs, those dopamine hits. When you're used to that shit, it's much harder because you have to sacrifice that. You know what it's like and you have to leave it behind. Now, let's say you wanna start a business in this matrix, so you can make a living on yourself. Because 9 to 5 you have to sacrifice a lot in that. You have to sacrifice a lot of your time, a lot of your mental sanity probably, a lot of health also, mental and physical probably. So you're like, yeah, let's start business. Well, then you have to sacrifice even more of your time probably. You're gonna have to sacrifice even more of your physical and mental strength because the stress is insane probably. But this sacrifice might last less time than the 9 to 5 sacrifice. So there is that. But for some time, you need to sacrifice quite a bit. Now, if you want to be uber healthy rich in this matrix, you have to sacrifice your humanity. No ifs and buts about that. You have to become a monster. Now, if you want to gain fame, you want to be some artistic type, become very famous and shit, so you want to be influencer, those kind of things, you most likely have to sacrifice your self-worth, your self-love, loving yourself, because the things you have to maybe do in those areas of the matrix, they might take your soul, snitch that shit right out of your ass. You wanna become some OnlyFans girl making millions if you got the looks for that. And you don't really even have to have that amazing looks to do that. What it seems like. I always laugh how anybody can pay for that shit. Firstly, you can see it for free if you want. So, what the fuck would you pay them? For their little personal messages? Man. Anyway, you want to become a little whore on the internet? you gotta sacrifice a lot for that too. Again, self-worth, self-love, but probably you gotta sacrifice loving relationship with the other sex. You're probably not gonna have a real relationship anytime soon. So the bigger your goals are in the matrix, the bigger the sacrifices. But in the nature, you go get some food, have sex with your bitch, have a good time with the boys, play around with the kids. You ain't sacrificing shit. And other thing that you can learn from these sacrifices is, again, it's tied to the nature. Those who have got the goods, got the skills, the talents, the genetics, the natural abilities. It's gonna come a lot easier for those people. They don't gotta sacrifice as much as somebody else who don't got the goods. They gotta work for it. And people love that. People love those underdog stories for sports. It's a big one. And somebody who's not as skilled, but they trained their whole fucking life. They started to fucking tap dance when they were then because they wanted to become a better boxer or some shit. But basically they worked and worked and worked. All this suffering. And we love that because we are suffering also. Subconsciously. It's a great feeling when somebody gets a nice little victory from all that suffering in expense of somebody else who got the gifts but well, a little bit too lazy. When in reality, the guy who worked, he worked this much, and the guy who got the talents, he was probably here. If he would have worked this much, this guy would have got him beaten. But yeah, we love those stories. When people have to sacrifice everything to gain some great goal in the matrix system, just to realize after it dead it was pretty much all for nothing. There are so many of those stories in the sports. And somebody becomes some champion and they're like, my life didn't change at all. I sacrificed all this time, all this energy, my physical and mental health probably, long-term health sacrificed. A little bit of attention, or quite a bit of attention. A little bit of quite a bit, or ooh, my camera overheated. Anyway, you get the point. And I'm out of raw chicken. Think about those people who sacrificed everything in those towers 23 years ago. They sacrificed everything when those planes were coming. 9/11. Never forget. See you on the next one.